Professor HFY clicked her mandibles in satisfaction as she surveyed the diverse classroom before her. Representatives from 17 different species sat in carefully climate-controlled sections, each environment tailored to their biological needs. The aquatic Veltar floated in their suspension tanks, while the crystalline shard folk hummed softly in their resonance chambers. At the back, barely visible in the shadows, lurked a member of the nocturnal umbral collective. And there, in the section designated for carbon-based bipeds, sat the human. Dr. Sarah Chen appeared unremarkable among the galactic community's representatives. No natural armor, no enhanced sensory organs, no ability to photosynthesize or commune with quantum fields, just pink skin, brown hair tied back in what humans called a ponytail, and those peculiar forward-facing eyes that marked her species as evolved predators. Today's lecture, Professor HFY announced, her voice transmitted through universal translators, concerns the most sobering topic in xenobiology: extinction events and species survival probability. The holographic display illuminated, showing a vast timeline stretching back millions of years. Red markers dotted the chronology like drops of blood. Every species in this room, the professor continued, has faced at least one extinction-level event. The Veltar survived their sun's expansion by developing interstellar travel. The shard folk endured the Great Resonance collapse through collective consciousness transfer. Each of you represents billions of years of evolutionary triumph. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the classroom, clicks, harmonics, and telepathic acknowledgments from the various species. However, HFY's tone grew grave. Statistical analysis suggests that 99.7% of all species fail to survive beyond their first major extinction event. The probability decreases exponentially with each subsequent threat. A new display showed probability curves, each line representing different species' survival chances against repeated catastrophes. The projections were stark. Every line eventually touched zero. This brings us to today's case study, the human homeworld of Earth. The display shifted to show a blue-green planet, beautiful but unremarkable. In the past 65 million years alone, Earth has experienced 5 major extinction events. The Veltar's water tanks bubbled with surprise. One of the shard folk's harmonic frequencies spiked into the ultrasonic range. Several students turned to stare at Dr. Chen, who sat quietly taking notes. The Cretaceous-Paleogene event eliminated 75% of all species, Professor HFY continued. The Permian-Triassic event, the so-called Great Dying, destroyed 96% of marine life and 70% of terrestrial vertebrates. Yet somehow Earth's biosphere recovered each time, eventually producing the human species. A tentacled hydrosion raised an appendage. Professor, such repeated catastrophes should have sterilized the planet. How did any complex life survive? An excellent question. The statistical models suggest it shouldn't have been possible. However, Earth's life proved remarkably resilient. She paused, studying her notes. Dr. Chen, perhaps you could provide insight into your planet's unusual survival record. Sarah looked up from her tablet, seemingly surprised to be called upon. Well, life on Earth has always been pretty adaptable. We've learned to expect change, I suppose. Expect change, HFY repeated thoughtfully. Most species develop strategies for environmental stability. Your world chose the opposite path. Had to, Sarah replied with a slight shrug. Earth's kind of violent. Volcanoes, asteroids, ice ages, solar radiation changes. You learn to roll with it or you don't make it. The room fell silent. The concept was alien to most present. The shard folk had spent millions of years perfecting their crystalline matrices to achieve perfect environmental harmony. The Veltar had eliminated natural disasters through planetary engineering. The idea of thriving in chaos was incomprehensible. This adaptability, Professor HFY noted, appears to be your species' defining characteristic. Humans spread across every biome on their planet: deserts, Arctic regions, deep ocean platforms, even underground complexes. No other species in recorded history has demonstrated such environmental flexibility. We're stubborn, Sarah admitted with a small smile. My grandmother used to say humans are too stupid to know when to give up. A low rumble from the methane-breathing Titan representatives indicated amusement. The umbral collective member shifted in the shadows, intrigued. The implications are fascinating, the professor continued. While most species optimize for specific conditions, humans appear optimized for survival itself. Your technological development focused not on perfecting your environment, but on escaping it entirely. Space travel, terraforming, closed-loop life support, all developed within mere centuries of achieving industrial capacity. The display showed humanity's rapid expansion across their solar system, then their first tentative steps toward the stars. However, HFY's tone grew ominous. Even human adaptability has limits. Our models predict that within the next 50 to 70,000 years, Earth will face another major extinction event. Solar instability, asteroid impact, gamma-ray burst, the exact cause matters little. The question becomes, can humanity survive what promises to be their planet's sixth mass extinction? The classroom atmosphere grew heavy. Even the usually optimistic Veltar seemed subdued by the prediction's weight. "Professor," Sarah's voice cut through the silence, "which specific day?" HFY blinked in confusion. "I beg your pardon? You said 50 to 70,000 years. I need the specific date." Sarah's tone was matter-of-fact, as if she were asking about a weather forecast. "Dr. Chen, such precision is impossible. We're discussing statistical probabilities across geological time frames." "Tuesday, July 15th, 63-847 CE, Sarah interrupted, consulting her tablet. "That's when the Helix Nebula expansion reaches critical density. Solar wind pressure increases by 43%, destabilizes the Oort cloud, sends approximately 14,000 cometary bodies into elliptical orbits intersecting Earth's path." The room erupted in chaos. Every species began speaking at once, clicks, harmonics, and telepathic bursts, creating a cacophony of confusion. "How could you possibly know?" Professor HFY began. "We've been tracking it for about 300 years now," Sarah continued calmly. "Started evacuation planning in 2387. New Australia should be fully operational by then. That's our backup world in the Proxima system. We're also building generation ships just in case. Oh, and we're working on a deflection array. Might be able to redirect about 60% of the incoming objects." The silence that followed was absolute. "You're already preparing," HFY whispered, "for an event 60,000 years in the future." 63,847 years, Sarah corrected. "Give or take a few months for orbital mechanics. We like to plan ahead." Professor HFY stared at the human for a long moment, then at her notes, then back at Sarah. Slowly, she deleted her prepared conclusion about humanity's probable extinction. "Class dismissed," she announced quietly. "I need to recalculate some projections." As the students filed out, each lost in their own thoughts about the implications of what they'd witnessed, Sarah remained behind. "Professor," she called out, "if you're interested, we're always looking for new perspectives on long-term survival strategies. The Galactic Extinction Prevention Council meets every third Thursday. You'd be welcome to join." HFY looked at the human, this unremarkable member of a species that planned for catastrophes, spanning geological epochs, and realized she had just learned something that would reshape xenobiology forever. Humans didn't just survive extinction events. They scheduled around them.